Howdy doody, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Hydra. We have talking heads that are working. Hello, players.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Salut, ça va? No, this is Italian, not French. Ciao, ciao. I hope you are all suspecto and ready after last week. We had a lot of fun. If you want to recap, just read Mr. Matt's comment, seriously. And otherwise, I think we're going to jump straight to it this week. No fuss. No muss. No dicking about. We're just going to go straight for our little mini game which we played last campaign. And this is really just to get some ideas for your character if some corruption may your way come. We'll start with, well, Sheepy, you've already done table commands. I will ask you, I'll give you a choice of either 2 mental and 1 physical, or the other way around. And basically just, say, click on mutate mental twice or once, and then mutate physical twice or once. And then we can just have a look at the options, and you can tell me if there's one that you like the idea of for your character, if you go down a bad route.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mutate mental.
Okay.
Mutate mental. Mutate physical.
Okay. Now, what I will say for this is I wouldn't bother even with the mechanics for it. I would say let's forget about +5 fellowship minus blah 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 blah. Let's just take the words and see what sounds good. So, incredibly angry, incredibly fearful of being alone. Extra mouth, and you won't magically materialize an extra mouth. We will be doing the slow burn. So, I mean, if there is one of those that you kind of like the idea of, I mean, you can just kind of surprise me, or you can kind of just pick your own path in the TTRPG life if you're like, well, there's something else that might be better. So, up to you.
So, Unholy Rage is essentially just
Roid rage. It's basically get incredibly angry.
Lonely Spirit is fear of being alone, you said?
Yeah, pretty much. And then there's an extra mouth.
It's one of those things where I'm like, the only one I can kind of see if it was like repressed and came out randomly, like, you know, or not randomly, but, you know, just pushed too far, would be Unholy Rage.
Yeah.
Lonely Spirit I don't really see, and extra mouth is strange, and I just see weird things with that.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement for that. Well, why don't we pin the first 2, and you can see if one of them feels particularly appropriate. Again, this isn't
mouth. I mean, on your hand or something. Could be cool.
I mean, I could eat a sandwich and also utter an incantation. Would be super useful.
You could talk to yourself like a puppet.
But don't you have this spell that drains like life energy?
So, you know, yeah, I totally do. Super dangerous. Don't mess with me.
And fireball, obviously. Okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll just put a pin in a couple of those and say if there's one of them that jumps out. Again, this isn't to say you have these conditions. It's just for early game inspiration. So we do a little bit of thinking about characters before we get the show on the road. Let's go with Yoris. Let's 2 of one, 1 of the other. Tell me if there's one that particularly floats your boat.
Yep, it's going to be mental, isn't it?
2 mental. And throw in a physical just for giggles. A lolling tongue. I might need some more information on that. Okay. I mean, Bretonian.
Yeah. I mean, he is a drunkard.
Got
a lolling tongue already.
I mean,
yeah.
If he had an extra mouth, he could drink wine from 2 glasses.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being a jealous Bretonian? Does that feel... I mean, that seems like it fits your cliche.
I've already got the unholy rage, so the jealous thoughts.
It's just more reason to be angry, isn't it?
Yeah.
What would you be jealous of, or who? That is the question.
But I do think lolling tongue would be a thing as well. For
Yeah.
Reasons
Okay.
unknown yet.
All good ideas. I like that. And Mr. Matt, let's 2 of one of the other.
Righto.
Upside down face.
Yeah. All Ralph.
You got the Linkin Park one.
Crawling in my skin.
Yeah. Crawling skin. So.
What is profane urgency?
When you really need the toilet and you can't stop swearing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say a little bit more flighty.
How do I close that back so it's not open?
There we go.
Okay. More flight as in like running away, or?
Yeah. Flighty as in... Not as in flying away, as in fight or flight, but more on the flight.
Oh, okay. I think I'll go with crawling skin.
Crawling skin seems... again, ignore the rules because I'm not going to apply them, but it's just something to think about if you find yourself in a dark place and you're wondering how this might affect your character. We can think on those things. Okay.
The only light we've had since we started is literally the houses being on fire.
Yes. This is a grim dark campaign in a literal sense. Gentlemen, we pick up from last week when you have just extinguished a fire surrounding a building containing an old crone. So you had heard from the surviving florist, let's call her Martina. Having burst down the door, Gaspard saw something that resembled a snake slithering into the flames in the centre of the room as they extinguished, and there was not a body to be found. The majority of others at this point have returned back to the temple. The 3 of you, we'll just rewind 20 seconds, are preparing to go inside, but you have an opportunity to discuss if you wish or not. And I will say that Martina has gone inside at this point as well. Effectively, everyone has. Over to you.
What now?
Well, find the old woman. Dietler, you noticed something in the house, didn't you?
Not... Well, maybe. I'm hesitant to say yes.
You couldn't hear her? I heard whimpering.
No.
You said you hesitate to say yes, so, what did you notice? Tell us.
It's hard to translate for those who can't really appreciate. Essentially, there was a shifting of the wind. Let's say essentially like something or someone or anything moving through the room. But possibly there might be other translations or ways to see it.
I did see I think how you say serpent, snake sorts. Does that say anything to you?
You say a snake? Like, was it outside the house, or was it inside, or?
No, it was inside in the fire.
I didn't see any burned snake remains.
No, neither did I, but I did see it.
No, I believe you. But anything can happen on nights like this, I reckon. after the last one, right?
Yes.
I need Hydra. I need
Yeah.
to. I'm currently wondering how common shapeshifting is. I'm not sure if Dealer would know that or not.
Do you have a law that could be used?
Law magic?
I would say roll me a challenging law magic.
Okay.
And this would be if it's... you've heard anything within your studies. Also, nice dice.
Oh, so close.
It's something that you may have heard the concept of it, but really no details. It's simply perhaps a rumour, perhaps a tale from somewhere. Who knows?
Okay. Carry on.
We gotta find her. I mean, she's alive. Two of us detected her, and you think the snake somehow maybe wrapped around her and pulled her to some other place?
I don't know.
Well, so I did mention that the fire was of magical origin, yes?
Oh, you did mention that, actually. Forgot about
Good.
that.
So, looking at it, there appeared to be 3 people in the house. Oh, sorry, 3 entities in the house, possibly 4. We're not completely sure about that. The snake, the old woman, and Flower. What's her name?
Martina.
Martina. One of these entities is the most likely cause of the magical fire. Given no other evidence to the contrary.
Well, I reckon the woman ain't gonna burn her own house down, and Martina don't, she seems like a fine young woman.
Well, there is the fact that control with magics can be difficult, so. However, with 2 such instances occurring, the first one with Rosa?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Girl.
It would mean that this is most likely a planned incident, leading to the possibility of murder, abduction. There's even a possibility of instilling fear and paranoia.
yes,
planning.
like hypnotism is before.
Well, more. So, for example, if I was to want to act in secret, or if I was to want to enact actions, if you set fire to a house, everyone runs to the house, and then you're off somewhere else doing the thing.
Like a distraction, eh? Yes, you are using the literary cells. But wouldn't it be a good idea to maybe take a peek in the other houses here, the buildings? And, well, as you say, the magic, it is not easily done. One might have some tools to aid. Is that how it works?
It can.
Well, perhaps we can find some of those things with the persons here.
It could be dangerous.
We could also just go inside and have dinner, eh? So, yeah.
Well, we can always go inside and arm ourselves and come back out.
Going in and having dinner could also be dangerous.
I have this rapier, so hang on. GM, I just remembered something from the end of last session. Where you said there was something about the rapier, so
Yes.
now Gaspar takes a look at it and says, "Huh?"
It would be very obviously, one would assume, a different rapier. This is of Bretonnian manufacture, clearly. It has a grail on the hilt. It's engraved intricately with the lady. And it is unquestionably not the one that you took from a witch hunter in Kislev.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think I will need to determine what my dude does. Ah! And you see Gaspard drop his weapon to the floor. Dagmar!
What's wrong? Is that a snake? Is it an illusion?
No. Look, regardez. I mean, this is the witch hunter's weapon. But look at it.
That ain't it. That's where'd you get that?
It was on me. I did not remove it from my person when we left, so... Diglev, can you see something with your skills about this weapon? And he pokes it with his foot.
D-Lev or the weapon?
Oh, the weapon.
He's gonna look at it, crouch down slightly, and peer at it, and then no.
You think it is safe?
That's a weapon.
It is the markings of the lady.
Deetliv, can you detect if there's like any magics on it or nothing?
I am going to have a look at it and see if I can detect it. I was going to say disturbance of the force, but see if I can see any remnants or any specific winds.
Sure. Send you a message, but we can make a roll for additional, and I would allow an average perception roll.
No, that's all right. Seems reasonably normal.
As long as we're sure it ain't cursed. Otherwise, I might have to bury the damn thing.
I mean, curses are very different from magics.
Oh, hells. How many different damn things are there?
An multitude of different things.
I just need physical shit I can see and ain't gonna zap me or burn me or whatever.
I mean, it could be demonic, and I would have no idea.
I take like a quick little step back from it, and my eyes widen hearing that.
You think it's demonic?
I don't think it's demonic. I'm just saying it could be, and I would have no idea.
Oh.
All I can tell you is that it appears to be as far as these things go, normal weapon. But if you pick it up and start sprouting horns, I don't want the blame.
Okay, well, let's see then. And
Yeah,
he bends to
Gaspard.
bends to pick it up and hesitates for just half a second, and then picks it up. Makes a few like swashes left and right.
Deetlev is watching very closely.
I'm watching for
Intently.
horns.
How do you feel?
Well, don't feel anything.
Oh, there you go. As I said.
Good.
But it is peculiar, isn't it, Pa? I mean, we are here at the monastery of Shalia, and here there is a chalice of the lady.
Maybe you just got drunk and you picked it up from a corner somewhere out of I don't know, It's just sitting there.
Well, that is possible.
Things happen, but y'all, I really think we ought to get to find these missing folks, though.
Mm.
So
Anyway.
let me ask you something. These folks are missing, right? They went missing right out of plain sight. Where do they go?
Well, that's a good question. And in fact,
Damn, you're made. You're supposed to know.
I don't believe I'm supposed to know where people go when they disappear.
What good is he? Gaspar, do you got any thoughts?
They seem to have, the flame, it went like whoop, and then the snake, it just went inside like a hole. I mean, I don't
A
know.
hole. A hole to where?
To wherever the flames go when they disappear. So I don't know.
I wonder if it's something like last night, and maybe she's just someplace we can't see. Like, she could even be in that house for all we know.
Well, we have so are we going back inside, have some food, and talk to the people there? Maybe they know something we do not know.
I scratch my head and say,
Or we go to one of the other buildings to see, maybe just to see if they're safe. I mean, it is the Hexensnacht.
I suppose there ain't no harm in taking a quick gander. Maybe just a couple minutes, and then we'll go inside. Maybe the priest will know something about this business. They were talking about demons on the horizon, so maybe it's got something to do with this.
Let's hope not.
I myself, being of practically no use, may not have much insight to this, but my wonder is if you're planning on going and looking for said missing people, where would you go? And what are you looking for?
Fiery holes and demons.
You want to go out right now in the middle of the night and search for fiery holes and demons?
Well, we might just take a look in the windows of the houses and the environs.
Right. So that is a plan. The other option being to go and inquire as to the residents of this area who indeed were here tonight and also a month ago when the other unfortunate young girl disappeared. Might be worth gathering information before going and looking for something which doesn't exist.
I'll leave
My
it to you, I'll leave it to you then, Gaspardi. He's making a point. Well, what do you think?
I am getting tired of standing around,
Same here.
and I'm
Gotta do
thirsty.
Ain't you always?
That's
Fine.
interesting.
What's that?
Oh, you don't feel much hunger, but you always feel thirst?
Not more than any other Bretonian.
He's a drunkard.
Oh, okay.
Wears like a badge, though. He don't mind. You can say it.
Yes, but let's go inside and talk to these priests here.
Right.
Should we
What's that?
accost them all together, or should we take them one by one?
Well, I don't know if they're perhaps it would be under some sort of ruse. How you say? Like guile? How you say? A ruse?
A ruse. Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
Are you sure that our esteemed friend Mr. Dagboard could pull off something
Well,
in the realm of subterfuge?
we brought in the little girl, so maybe we can visit her and then ask for one of the caretakers to, take care of her wounds and maybe change the bandages or whatever it is they do. And then we will have them at her bedside. And we can ask questions.
sounds
Not
like
a
a good
terrible
start.
plan.
I like it. I can pick up my axe while I'm in there.
Yes, we have to, I just occurred to me, we have our trunk with our belongings, and well, if this foil, this weapon, this rapier, somehow changed, what about our other belongings? Shouldn't we take a look?
Oh, there better not be any damn curses and demons living in my damn axe.
No, better take a look and be safe than sorry, huh?
Yeah. Right. Time's a wasting. We got people to find, got weapons to get, girl to bandage. Let's head on in now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start
Do
walking
it.
inside.
Okay.
Do it.
It's a short walk up the steps. Shalia looking down at you as you walk up them. There's a few offerings of flowers. Again, some lavender laid by her feet. Inside the door, the clerk welcomes you inside.
Gentlemen, you have returned safely. I have to say I'm a quiver with fear.
Fear? For what?
Fire. Horrors.
It looks like he's searching for words and his hands are just thrusting in various directions.
You see something we didn't see other than the fire?
Fires starting in buildings and people going missing. Is that not enough to make your dwarven bones shake?
It takes a bit more than that to make my damn bones shake, but ain't none too happy about it.
And I don't currently have dwarven bones on me.
I give Deetliv a little annoyed look and then look back to the clerk.
He does a side smile, his left corner of his lip, looking like a courteous attempt at a smile, but with a face filled of panic.
Can you not feel the darkness surrounding us?
There is always the impending doom in this world, especially if you are like me, a Bretonnian. Our society is like that, but no more than usual. So, where is there something that you can feel or do that normal people cannot? Huh?
I would say I've always had somewhat of a panache for telling when there is trouble brewing. All I can say is I can feel the darkness surrounding us.
Can I make a intuition
Yeah, sure.
to see if he's just being overly dramatic and making an idiot of himself, or if this is genuinely something he
Yeah.
senses? I'm just doing it challenging.
And he just comes
Well.
off like all humans do to me, so.
That's a pretty good test.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably the only one for the whole session.
So there are a couple of things you get from that. Firstly, he does genuinely believe that there is a darkness surrounding him. Surrounding you, even. You do get the impression he is more fearful for himself than anyone else. There's perhaps a little bit of a survivalist instinct at play, but you definitely get a little bit of a self-centered vibe from him. And I will say that he clearly fears for his own life and believes he is in danger.
You know, sir, monsieur, what I think that you are perhaps a little bit of a coward. But that is okay, because that means you can help us. Because if you tell us what you know, and what it is that you are afraid of, well, then we can help you. And you will not have to be afraid. So, don't keep any secrets from us.
He grins, and his hands almost make a like a chalice in front of his body before they open up slightly to give a somewhat exaggerated shrug of there are words in my head but not in my mouth right now. I do not know what is out there, but it is clear it is coming for us.
And is there perhaps someone from in this little hamlet that would have been likely the cause of such a thing? Maybe perhaps they are doing it themselves, or they did something that causes this? Like a big sinner, or I don't know.
I truly believe it is the response of some dark deity in response to our recent blessings. We have had more miracles as of recent. I fear we have attracted the attention of something dark.
Well, at least that makes sense. I mean, if you pay attention to one god, you just piss another off, so it is logical. But
Or
yeah. Oh,
perhaps there's a price for these miracles.
there is always a price, my friend.
Just a thought.
I'll carry over your natural one, Gaspard, for the purpose of the conversation. It does look like he's thinking quite intently as you're speaking, and it does look like he's maybe not given all of this much thought past the point of something out there is out to get us. So he then sort of puts on a more ponderous yet fearful look and begins to play with his lip.
If there is something on your mind, you can tell us. Look, this is serious. This is my my trusty sword. Look at the symbol on it. It is a chalice. Does that not mean anything to you? You can tell us.
I do not know why anyone would punish us. Perhaps it is recompense for the blessings and the miracles.
But who makes these blessings and these miracles? I believe there was a man that walked, but who made it so?
Right, was there like a priest praying and waving his hands over him, or what happened?
I really would say Shalia is the one who does such things. We are more vessels. The individuals, they eat, they drink, we perform the rituals, some prayer. We all play our part in their recovery. They will drink the wine, the sacramento with us as part of our rituals, and then we will pray, sometimes with them, sometimes together.
Who spent the most time around that miracle person?
There is not one miracle, there have been several since. That was simply the first.
Who's been around all of them? Anybody?
There are only 3 of us.
All right. So you and who are the other 2?
Look somewhat bewildered. The 2 priests.
Right. I think we met one of them just a few minutes ago before the fire, didn't we, Gaspard?
I'm sorry, I was pondering something this man said.
Oh, what's that?
Do you partake in these rituals and the drinking of the wine in equal measures, all? Or is there someone who presides over it?
There are various duties. I will on occasion assist, as they say. Primarily it is one of the 2 priests at least. Do you suspect foul play?
Well, do you have some more of that wine?
Yes, I can assure you, though, everything is completely normal. But I do not keep the keys myself, so,
But I just want to know, because it was of a particular taste. When we got here, we were offered some, well, a thimble, really, of the wine, and it,
for more wine-orientated questions, I would suggest having a conversation with the father, Alessandro. Alessandro, sorry.
Alessandro, sure. But just one more question, and perhaps you can tell me this at least. The wine, is it produced locally, or do you get it from somewhere else?
There are the grapes growing around the building.
He's a Bretonian, so he's awful fond of wine, you see.
There are, well, this is not a night to go for a walk in the orchard, but we do harvest the grapes ourselves. I will go fetch Alessandro for you.
Oh, one moment before you do.
Yes.
What's your name again?
I thought nobody would ever ask. Everyone's always Otto. Otto Kerholm, or Mr. Kerholm, or Otto, I do not mind.
Also, I have a question for you. Feel free to take your time and answer in your own speed. There are 2 doors before you. Through one of them is death. Through the other one is pain, struggle, strife, difficulty, sorrow, and death. Albeit later on. Which door do you take?
I am not per se a man of riddles, but I would like to have mercy, if possible.
Death.
I suppose if it is the choice.
Yep, that sounds about right for a coward.
Okay, thank you.
Silly questions.
Damn, Deetlev, we're trying to find missing people. Quit wasting our time with weird philosophical questions and what have you.
Somewhat skittishly, he begins to move away. And again, continuing your one as a thematic role for the scene, the man is skittish. That is perhaps the most appropriate word for him. And as well as that, he appears to be a man that has not thought the current situation through in detail, and you were giving him some ideas, though it did not seem that he had arrived at any conclusions during your conversation, and this is particularly to Gaspard. You seem to have set him onto down a path of thought and panic.
Good. I suspect that if something comes up, he will probably tell us later.
I think possibly I should have put away my stave before I asked the question.
Ash, the damn stick, who cares?
Sure.
It did occur to me that something he said about angering a demon or a god. What if some entity is indeed angered, and the best course of action would be to take away that anger, n'est-ce pas? I mean, if they have no reason to be angry anymore, then they don't have to take away the persons anymore.
I mean, if it's some dark god being an asshole, ain't that going with me? It's pissed at this whole place being a temple of Shalia and what have you.
Well, yeah, well. Let me explain a little bit how things are in Bretonia. Maybe you will understand my meaning. You see, there are only two kinds of people. I mean, you are a peasant or you are a noble. And the nobles, they shit on the peasants. But imagine you are a peasant and you have a farm. And your farm is exactly on the border of the lands of two nobles. One noble is kind and benevolent and caring and good. And the other one is, like you say, an asshole. And you get to choose to which you pay allegiance. So which one do you pick? I assume you pick the kind and the benevolent one.
Of course.
Yes, but the other one is an asshole. So even when you pledge your allegiance to the kind one and the benevolent one, the one who is an asshole still bothers you. So you call upon your lord to protect you, probably. But he is a lord. You are but a peasant, and he has like 1,000 peasants, so... You know, he's not busy with you all the time. But the other lord, he constantly raids you. So you make a deal with the evil lord. You pay him a tenth, maybe. And everybody's happy. So you see, you do not just pick the good ones. You have to appease the bad ones as well.
Right, so what do we need to do to put a smile on this asshole's face so it leaves be?
I don't know. I think that is what we need to find out. Perhaps our friend here can elucidate the matter, because you deal in the matters of life and death, do you not?
Yeah.
Well, if there is a miracle, and that miracle takes away some form of destiny that was set before, then whoever set that destiny and then got it snatched away from him, he is angry. So like the man said, they did the miracle and then something got angry. That makes sense.
Well, or, you make a deal with something, to allow for miracles.
Well, that is also a possibility.
My thought would be either appeasing the anger of something or making a deal with something. Maybe a sacrifice once a month, don't you think?
Perhaps, yeah. But he said there was something in the rituals and the sacraments they do in the wine, and it just occurred to me that the wine, it tasted strange, so... maybe
My
he has
eye. Sorry.
Huh.
Is it
It just
my
doesn't-
eyes kind of my eyes widen a bit as Dietlev's talking about sacrifices once a month, and I kind of blurt out,
Wait a minute. You said once a month. That girl, didn't she go missing a month ago?
Yes.
Now this woman's gone missing.
It's merely a theory, Mr. Dagboard.
Yeah, I reckon we'd. It's just too. With it just being two, we can't know for sure. I ain't wanting to sit around and wait another month to see if it happens again.
No.
Prove a theory. We ain't got that kind of time.
Dietlef. There in the darkness, in an archway, catching your attention, is Father Alessandro, that seems to have been stood there for some time, listening. Stealthily, I might add.
I smile.
He steps out and bows to the room, to the picture hanging above the desk, more than yourselves, before approaching and kneeling in front of you, Dietlef.
As he does approach, I kind of like shoulder by scythe a little bit, just in kind of like a hey look, you see this? I have a scythe.
He acknowledges and drops to both knees in front of you, as priests sometimes do. Lol. But this man has his hands together and face down toward the floor.
I request of forgiveness from yourself. I need in mercy.
Is he talking to us or is he praying to Shalia?
He's facing Dietlef.
and I'm asking.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
fair
or
enough.
Dietlef,
Just to make sure I orientated him correctly. Yeah.
Mercy can be quite difficult to find.
What you gotta ask forgiveness for?
I am suffering from an affliction, one I do not wish to be possessing me.
Possessing?
Turn of phrase, I believe.
I look a little bit calmer.
Dietlef crouches down, so he's a bit more on the level, so he could like try and look at the guy's face.
He looks up at you a little bit, and his first words before a long pause are,
I hate you.
Is that the
Damn.
affliction?
That's a bit harsh. I know Dietlef's a little bit rough around the edges, but damn.
Wizardos, I hate them all. For years I have been walking as a pilgrim, trying to get a prayer, a miracle, a sign from Shalia, the gods, to respond, and yet some would squander these gifts with the petty spells and studying of a death instead of a life. I wish to be free from this hatred, and please will you forgive me?
What was his name?
Alessandro.
Alessandro.
Alessandro. Answer me a question.
Yes.
There is an old man, decrepit, slowly dying. And there is a young child. Both are close to death. Both are poisoned, and you hold the antidote enough for one. Which one do you give it to?
I would begin by praying for the answer, to see if it is revealed to me. Vashalia. If not, I do not know.
Oh. Then when you have the answer, we'll talk about mercy.
Wizardos.
He's mumbling to himself. Get a little bit more of a sign for you, Dagmar. You see his fist clenched during that conversation. The guy literally hates wizards.
Nice.
He walks off out of the other side.
And I kind of stop him for a second just before he leaves and ask him, Alessandro, one last thing, sir.
What?
If it wouldn't be too much, could I please ask that you pray for that little girl Rosa and the whole woman whose house burned? They're missing. We don't know where they are, and I know it ain't my God, but maybe your God could, well, look out for them.
Gives you a look of...
And I add, I can make a donation if it helps. I say, pulling just a few copper or bronze pennies out of my pocket and offering them.
His look of... What do you think I do all day? Gradually shifts and softens a little bit of... Just at the... Hearing the word offering.
Thank you.
Of course, sir. Now I turn my hand over slowly.
He turns to leave swiftly.
I let him.
Dude's probably off to find a punch bag somewhere. Okay. Gentlemen?
That was fun.
Yes.
What is with you and these weird questions you pose to people? Damn.
Well, doesn't it expedite the understanding of someone?
I suppose so. I reckon I would have assumed that feller would have saved the child.
No. Very often, people who turn to religion rely on giving up their choices and allowing something larger than them to decide their fate, decide their life, and decide what they want to do.
Yes.
Therefore, it makes sense that he wouldn't choose anything and he'd wait to be told what to do.
They are, how you say, like sheep. Yeah, waiting for the shepherd to guide them and to tell them what to do and when to jump. Silly nincompoops, all of them.
But from that kind of description, I'm apt to agree with you. I mean, the sheep at least knows at that last second that it's got to make some kind of damn decision, or it should, but a human being ought to know. Having a mind and what have you. Sorry, an umge, rather. An umge ought to know. Having a damn mind.
Yes. Anyway, let us go see about. Well, let us go see the girl, le petit, and then our trunk. Where did they put our trunk?
I think it's around our. I think it's over near Eliza.
I think it would have been taken down to where you would be sleeping, which is in the infirmary.
Let's make sure she's all right and check on our goods.
Maybe we can make some more friends along the way.
Yeah, he seemed to like you in particular.
It's not uncommon. I'm fairly used to it. Some people have a problem with magic.
Maybe you ought to, I don't know, put something on over that, or take that off, or not carry that scythe around, something. Making people antsy.
Well, I put on these garbs because I believed my help may have been necessary.
Yeah, fine. I'm just saying that feller, he didn't take too kindly to seeing you in him, and we ain't exactly at death's door at this second, so to speak.
Really?
Yep. I don't see any damn demons. Perfectly safe in here.
Have you ever considered the possibility that just because you can't see them doesn't mean they aren't there?
Before last night, I would have made fun of you for proposing that, but now that you mention that, well, I just turn and start walking toward our room, or our area rather.
Sure. You are met by Marguerite, tending to Eliza, who seems to be currently asleep. She's having her forehead gently doused, and Marguerite is knelt down by the side of the bed, praying.
And I'm sorry, were we told what her role was here before? I know we met her.
He was sort of a nurse priest, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah. I guess you're not that familiar with Chaulier as a dwarf, so yeah, nurse priest.
Alright.
I will walk up to Elisa and... Bonsoir, ma petite. You are asleep. Is she all right, madame?
She will be fine. Our patients do very well.
Her leg, the bandages, the wound, it is clean?
It is clean.
Can I take a look?
You wish to undo it, you can do it back up yourself.
No, I just wish to look at the bandages, because...
Well, if it brings you any peace, yeah.
Pulls the covers to the side and reveals the fact this poor girl, from the knee down, has nothing but a bandage.
How did she come to such a cruel fate?
He was touched by an evil thing, and it took hold in her leg, and tried to, how you say, spread in the body. So we had to act quickly, and they had no chance but to cut it off.
I assure you, ma'am, he done the right thing. We looked at the detached extremity afterward, and it was twitching and moving around on its own, so yeah, it definitely had to come off.
Very well. You fought this thing, this evil?
Yes. We took care of it, we vanquished it, and it will bother her no more, I hope. Chaulier.
You do not look like fighters.
Well, you'll be surprised.
Looks can be deceiving.
No. No, they are not.
Anyway, I'm assuming that,
Stand up.
She interrupts you. This woman doesn't really do manners. Gaspard.
Stand up in front of me.
He stands up.
Your rapier. It is wrong. It is making me... Please.
She
Is it
offers to,
wrong?
like, reposition it.
Sure.
Should rest like this.
She just adjusts it ever so slightly.
I suppose you know how to use it.
Well, I am new to this. I've been practicing a bit, but I am not accustomed to this weapon per se, I must say. But how is it you seem to know more about this? Because, I mean, I'm assuming that it indeed fits better the way she did it.
Yes, it does appear to be a minor correction, even if just minor, it seems insignificant, but yet it's kind of like not bonking into your leg all of a sudden.
And how is it you know this as a... Well, I would not expect a priest to know such matters.
She looks at Deedliff.
I am like him, but I do not like magic.
Squares off up to you, Deedliff. Stands and looks you dead in the eye.
That is an understandable stance to take.
Temple's just full of my kind of people.
She is just breathing in and out slowly, deep breaths at this point.
Don't worry, ma'am. If he goes casting any damn spells, I'll whoop him for you.
Would you notice?
Shit. I say, looking down, annoyed.
She finally loosens her posture.
For the first half of my life I was death. Now I am life. I have chosen a better path. I hope you do the same. You, Bretonnian, come with me.
Very well.
I'm going to show you how to use that thing before you cut your own dick off.
It is already small, so fat chance I will eat it.
She to roll a quick challenging perception for me, Gaspard.
Point his dick?
A gazing. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to read her expression from that. This isn't so much of an intuition, just to look at her facial movements. It's she's hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Very odd lady, and clearly doesn't do manners. Deetliv and Dagmar, the two of you will be left with Elisa for a bit. Would you like to converse, or should we come back to you in a moment?
I'd come back in a moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because whenever we come back, I'll probably be pulling the thing out from under, or pulling the thing out and open it to check our goods, my weapon and all.
Sure.
Quick question: is she asleep?
Elisa, yes.
Okay.
We are going to go for southwest top floor.
Where did you get this weapon? It is well made.
Yes, it is, but there is something peculiar about how I got this. Because, well, last night, well, I think it was last night, I'm not really sure anymore, but we fought a witch up in the mountains at the lodge of a former witch hunter. And I'm sorry to say that the witch hunter perished. And, we took whatever weapons we could get to vanquish the witch. And, well, I'm sure you know With most witch hunters, they have like a gun and this one had this rapier also. Seemed nice, but yeah. Can I roll? No, I wouldn't roll. This is a thing.
This is a thing.
Yep. Yeah, so the weapon was different. Or it became different when we arrived here, because, well, as far as I know, it did not have the sign of the lady on it, the shallots. And,
Do not question. A gift from the gods, perhaps.
Perhaps.
It was your size, though.
Yes.
And a good blade. Hold it.
Like so.
She walks around you. To the side of the room, she grabs a small cane.
Hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Steps to your side. Steps around. And out of the periphery of your vision, she gives your hand a very strong whack. I'll roll that again, because that was blind, thus not quite so much fun. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Just right at the base of your thumb, this cane meets, and as if a pressure point, just the blade just falls to the floor. You can make an intuition test if you think you can beat +9 SL.
Initiative, I think.
Yeah. You can see if you nearly manage to respond.
I think that would be initiative, indeed. Well, I'll never beat 9 SL, but let's see.
You can try and impress her, though.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Do not hold it like it is some sort of a dick. Pick it up.
He bends, but keeping one eye on her. Sort of.
See this film before.
Yeah.
Next one's my face.
Yeah.
Hold it tighter.
Like so.
Like so.
She's going to grab your hand for a second and just like squeeze your hand in a slightly different position and move a couple of fingers just from where they are.
Okay. Let us try again.
She steps away to do a little bit of a run-up. And without turning, her hand flicks behind her down against your palm again. Let us see how we do this time. You can make an average melee roll, if you like.
Yep, I think I was sort of expecting that, so... Yep.
This time the cane hits your hand, but the cane stops. The blade stays in your hand.
Still hurts a bit, but you've still got a blade. Better.
She rolls her sleeve up slightly. Just say 2/3 of the way to her elbow, revealing the scar on her face is far from the only scar she has. Her arm and hand are covered in lacerations. Straight, thin lines all over her that you can tell. Although the one that seemed like it nearly caught her eye is perhaps the most significant.
Try to hit me. I will go easy on you.
The scars suggest to me that I will probably not succeed, but if you say so, I will try. He strikes a pose that he thinks is Professional.
Okay.
What was it? Sorry.
You can roll me. Do you have melee fencing yet?
Yes.
Okay. Roll me a challenging melee fencing.
Ah!
Okay.
I rolled a giggity number.
Pretty close, actually. She just does sort of two hands behind the back, lean backwards to the side, but you do manage to catch her headpiece, and she looks somewhat surprised for a moment. Not bad. Again. I like the fumble. I'm just saying, I like the fumble. And she is going to, in response to...
Should I click it? See what at least what it is?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. And she is rolling... Oh, good lord. Okay. Okay, well, that is perfect, because she riposts. So... Simply with a flick of her wrist, your rapier is flung to one side. She just bonks you straight between the eyes and the middle of the head. Slow and lazy and fat, like the rest of Bretonians. Again. This time she's going to try and hit you first.
Oh, okay.
We're going to both roll. But if she wins, she's going to smack you before you can hit her.
Mm-hmm.
Not to give the game away here. You manage to catch her shoulder. She brings her blade up to, let's say, prevent damage. You at least get her with the blunt side of the rapier. Better. I have duties to tend to, but if you're still alive in the morning, share with you a little more. One thing, though. I do have a price.
Oui?
Tell me, do you Bretonian men, do you have any honor still?
Honor?
See.
Honor is for the stupid nobles. But I'm sure you mean, like, manners and dignity and a sense of duty. That I have.
Then you do not use this for death. You use it for life. You understand me?
Well, of course.
Sometimes life will require death. But never just death. There's better ways.
Like what?
Merci. She's just gonna, edgelord strut out of the room.
Yeah, and he's gonna, whether she sees it or not, but make a salute with the rapier to your face, something like that.
She takes a second to correct her posture from strutting badass to, oh yeah, I'm a holy woman. And her stride shortens, her head bows a little bit before she leaves the room.
There is a formidable lady. Probably says it just loud enough for her to just hear. That's what he intends anyway.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the bedside, we return to a dwarf and the manor.
Yeah, I'm just kind of grumbling and pulling the case out, giving it open to see if Mac's in there and anything else of note.
Okay. It is not there.
Son of a bitch.
There is a dwarven mining pick, though, which is unusual.
How'd that get there?
And 2 dwarven
alright?
pistols.
You said dwarven pistols.
Yes, 2 of them.
I reach out and I kind of poke them at the base of the handle of each. Does anything weird happen to me?
No, not yet.
These weren't here before. These are the pick. Had a big old axe in here for splitting logs.
Before what?
Well, last night, Hexensnacht. Got it at the inn, the Ditmar Inn. The witch hunter is his wood splitting axe. Brought it with, and now it's gone. And here's this. It looks like this is Dowie design.
I say, picking up and inspecting it closer.
Strange.
I'll say. I thought we'd put our stuff in here ourselves. I don't know how this would have. It don't make no sense. Usually when somebody steals your things or swaps them out, you expect a box full of rocks or something of low quality. This is fine Dowie quality. Does it look like a pick and pistols to you?
Does it?
Yes.
Yes.
I scratch my head.
I'll be. Tarnation's going on.
And I'm going to check, I'm not sure how these things work. Is there ammunition with the pistols, or?
There is a bag of shot, yeah, and powder, and you're right, you don't know how it works.
Okay.
It's dwarven, but that doesn't mean it has an instruction manual. It's, black powder weapons, much like Chinese speaking, that is.
Well, I ain't letting fine Dowie construction go to waste.
I say, pocketing the shot and the pistols. And I'll pick up the pickaxe and heft it, giving it a twirl so that the pickaxe bit at the top kind of spins in my hands.
Okay. Roll me a 2-handed weapon test just to see how well you handle this for the first spin.
Sure. I'm gonna drop it and embarrass myself in front of it.
Don't kill Detlef.
Of course. As he's doing that, I'd like to just take a little look at it. Same way I looked at the rapier.
Yeah.
Just purely because,
And
similar
what was
situation.
Very similar.
Again, that test again.
Average. You were just gonna flail it around a little bit.
Right.
Ooh.
If there was an arm in front of you, you would likely have jarred it badly.
Damn, this is actually nicer than that axe. Sheesh. Well, whatever thief got confused and switched out my boxes, well, looks like the guys are smiling me today.
Yeah. Maybe.
And I just put my pickaxe away on my person, so I'm not wielding it and flailing it around in the temple.
Mr. Dagboard,
What's that?
I have a question.
This one of them creepy philosophical questions.
Yes.
What is it?
Well, actually, I have 2 questions. One's for you, one's for me.
Right.
But, I realize we've been working together, and that demands for a little more courtesy. So in return, I'm willing to answer any one question you might have for me as payment.
As payment for what sort of courtesy we talking?
for answering my questions.
Well, off the top of my head, I can't say anything I really want to ask you. Can I save it till later?
Of course.
Fine, shoot.
So my first question is if yes, let's use that as an example. If we are presented with the choice of cards again, and your flower girl comes up, and
Martina, I interrupt.
Martina, apologies. And this young girl's image comes up. Who do you think Gaspard would choose?
We both know the answer to that, but since I am being direct, he'll choose his kin.
Okay. And second question for me. Same scenario, except for it's Martina and myself. And the question is, who would you choose?
My eyes widen a bit at that. I reach up and I run my hand through my hair, lifting my little colander helmet up off my head.
Shit, I ain't one like mages and the like, but I ain't gonna wish death on you. You know what? I'll just pull both cards. Who says we can't, right?
Well, let's say it doesn't work and you have to choose.
How do we know till we try?
Humor me for now.
Fine. Well, I don't intend on either one of you dying. Where are we when this happens? Am I closer to you or am I closer to her?
If you're not able to answer the question, then the deal doesn't stand.
There's variables involved, ain't there? If you're 5 feet away and she's a quarter of a mile away, I'm gonna pull her card because I can't get to her. It's the other way around, I'll pull yours.
There's
I reckon.
variables if the situation was to occur. However, for the question, which card would you pull, there is an answer.
Whomever is the farthest from me.
Okay.
Cause I tell you, when we got to that fire, Gaspard, he's seen that damn serpent, whatever it is. We didn't get there fast enough. We waited until that weird, I guess he's a spirit, supposedly. I don't know that by that fully. I think he maybe is some kind of wizard, but that fortune teller feller, he has his pick a card, and he's doing that little countdown doodad with his fingers. We waited until he was almost done with one. What if we just up and pick a card at 5 or 4, or better yet, maybe it ends then. Well, what if we decide, like with your example, let's say you're right next to me and the girl's a quarter mile away, or heck, you're 100 feet away. Well, I'll pull your card. Or, I'm sorry. I'll pull her card. She's furthest from us. That'll keep her safe. And I'll scurry over to you, whip out this fine new pickaxe, and drive it right in the skull of any demons or witches or what have you.
It is a noble endeavor. However, say both myself and Martina are fated for death, and you are given an opportunity, a miracle almost, to stave off death for one of us. Is it not already fairly arrogant to assume that heavy burden to then try and cheat at a already wondrous gift? Just a thought.
I reckon if I had to choose completely, then gods wouldn't even let me run. Wouldn't let me have access to weapons or something get in my way. We almost got to that old woman. All we just needed was maybe another minute. We would have had it if we'd acted faster, if we'd known what to expect.
True. Or possible, at least.
We gotta try, don't we?
Do we?
I don't know about you, MG, but this Dowie got a different approach to honor. And you wouldn't understand. Our name is our pride.
Well, in that case, maybe one last thing to consider is this. For good or for ill, everything that young lady does with the rest of her life is your fault.
If I pulled the other one, then everything the old woman did would be my fault. If I didn't pull either, then everything everything that they could have done that might have helped other people would then be my fault for it not happening, wouldn't it?
Theoretically, yes.
What do you say about that, then?
You're right.
Ha!
I do like a little, actually do like a little, kind of little jig where I'm standing.
I got you, damn smart ass wizard.
From behind.
Well,
After your sentence, Detlef.
no, carry on.
There is an interruption to your conversation.
Mi scusi.
Oh, hello.
I have come to break a bread and forgiveness and mercy.
He breaks a bun in half and offers you half, Detlef.
I take it in my hand.
We are from very different worlds. You see, your question, it is a question for an apothecary, not for a priest. I would give an antidote to neither, for we do not use antidotes, we pray, and I would pray for both.
And I shake the bread at him very slightly and say, an acceptable answer, and then bite into the bread.
If there is one thing I am pleased to be today, it is acceptable. We are going to be praying through the night. It is myself and Margaret. We have agreed, it seems, wise considering events. You are all welcome to join.
At this point, Gaspard, you rejoin. There is footsteps of another coming from down the corridor. Click, clack, click, clack. An old man approaches on two crutches. It's like watching a shaky autumn leaf in the wind.
Ciao, bella, bella!
smiles at the group of you.
Bonsoir, monsieur. How are you today?
Bella, better. Look, standing.
He takes his weight off of the crutches very slightly, and his two knees begin to vibrate like jackhammers.
Careful, monsieur. Careful.
No problem. No problem.
Me today, ain't you?
Sí, Alessandro. A sacramento, por favor.
Alexandra is like, oh,
Not again.
and he's
Un momento.
and walks away.
Good to see you up, old timer.
He stops shaking, remarkably so, and pauses, stoops over in posture,
Sospito.
pointing at Alessandro as he's walking away.
Sospito.
I lean in a little and say, yeah, him and some other priest and Otto, the clerk. Apparently, all three of them were around when the girl went missing, and Rosa, and now again. Did you hear? Did you hear about the old woman?
No, old woman. Come. We talk.
Right. Come on, fellas.
And now we begin the 10-minute journey down the corridor. Behind a man taking one step at a time, shaking, quivering.
Sospito.
Even my dwarven legs are. Even I'm looking annoyed with my short footsteps. I can't even stretch them out long enough for this to make sense.
Yeah, that old woman. Didn't y'all catch her name?
I asked, looking at the other two.
Yes, it is Margareta. Oh,
Yeah,
the old
very
woman that died in the fire. The ugly one.
Well,
No, I don't know.
Well, she ain't dead, but
Isabella. Oldo. See. Isabella.
Oh, she was le chef, the cook. Was it not?
Yes.
That makes like disgusting food facial
Not a
expressions.
Good one, nice.
Hey, no bueno. Salt.
It just keeps on making like, I'm putting more salt on this, hand motions.
right. D-Liv, you think you could explain? You better with the magic-y shit. You think you could explain this fella what happened last night, or about a half an hour ago?
He does a comedic second take at Deetlev once you arrive at the bed, looking at him, back to the bed, and then sort of a 360-degree clockwise rotation of his head back to Deetlev again.
Wizardo.
Yes.
Magnifico. Mwah.
He reaches to kiss you, to embrace.
Yeah, I don't stop him.
That is a strange thing for a witch hunter to say. Oh,
Hey, wizardo e witcho. Non compare bene.
They aren't very similar.
L'ascenso.
Function for a start.
L'ascenso. La peppers.
He's motioning to you, Deetlev.
What did he say?
he's asking for your papers. Your license? Your
okay,
papers.
Mm-hmm. And I say, where are yours?
Chanter no l'ascenso, no. Studente. Studente. Sì.
He's like going, like tapping you on the chest.
Studente?
It's like it's waiting for a response. Tap.
I'm only going to present my credentials before someone who can present their own, essentially. Are you a witch hunter?
No. Diavolo.
Demon hunter.
Si. No witch. Boring. Easy.
And
Diavolo.
Now, sir, I'm wanting to disagree. Witches are easy to take out.
Armo lego. Edo catto. Si.
Bah, you ain't fought an invisible one. Whatever. Sorry to interrupt, Dietlo. Demono. Si.
Under my breath.
He reaches down for a little journal that seems to have a lot of Tillian writing in it, which obviously thou cannot read, but does also have lots of pictures of what looks like crudely drawn monsters.
Monstaro. Hey.
I'll lean over and just take a look at that book. Is there anything snake-like in the book that he's showing us?
He flicks through a few pages. No.
Dang.
Camo. Isabella.
Makes like the disappearing hand motion.
Si.
Oui. Mais, there was a snakeo. How you say serpento?
Serpento.
Vipero.
Vipero.
Flames, too. Tell him about the flames.
Oui, flemo.
Fuoco.
Fuego.
La serpente. La fuoco.
He does like snake going into the other hand.
Oui.
Isabella.
Isabella's
Oui.
gone. They're like,
Yeah,
he's so animated with his hands, he's basically speaking fluent English. He's very good at charades. Okay.
The fire was magical.
Magica.
And attacked the house from the inside and the out. And there was what appeared to be a focal point, a center point in the middle of the house.
Si.
Where a person was standing.
Si. Oh.
He grabs his little olive jar by the side of his bed and brings up a green and a black olive.
Magica. Fuoco.
Green olive.
Yes.
Demone. Fuoco. Similaro.
Do I know if I'd be able to tell, if I'd be able to notice I probably wouldn't, would I?
If it's something of a demonic nature.
Yeah.
Average law magic.
Okay.
We'll stick with that.
I have a suspicion that I'd know if it was magic, but I might not know the additional detail of it being demonic.
There may be a little detail that might crop in. So I would say that maybe not exactly what you want to know, but related is that some people, when they're using spells, at least when you're being taught, creatures of magic have been, or rather demons made from magic have manifested. There's at least a conceptual overlap between the two. Where one starts and the other finishes, let's say, is not a science that is studied legally. So the old guy's not completely crazy.
I've I've probably heard a few horror stories of students who tried too early and got overwhelmed. And
Absolutely. Yes, there you would have been riddled with cautionary tales. The boy who miscast and fumbled.
Hey, demone, so Isabella di Separo, eh?
possibly. Hard to tell.
Di Separo, fuoco, eh?
Taps his eyes, taps his ears, and then like taps his head.
Sospetto, un momento.
Reaches down in his bag and just starts rummaging for a good minute, giving you an opportunity to look at each other awkwardly or exchange words. Or we could have a 5-minute bio break. Or all three.
All three.
What order should we go for?
Well, I could do with a short break.
Sure.
Me too.
Okay.
I'll see everyone in 5 minutes.
Ciao, bella, welcome back, audienzo. Si, tocco te la patti. Eh?
Currently,
Italians do not come off well.
they come off beautifully. Yeah, they've had a very kind treatment compared to some cultures, I have to say, by myself at least. He's currently rummaging through the bag.
Hey, dite levo. Eh?
He like taps his eyes.
You see demone, eh?
Maybe.
You see demone?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And he points to Gaspard and Dagmar as well.
Isabella disparu. You see demone?
I didn't see it, but Gaspard's seen a snake going into a fire and disappearing.
Sneko, fuoco. Si. I dirò. Vai.
Pulls out a handful of candles. They're all black.
Candela. Eh?
Oh, we've seen such candles before.
Choco.
Has a handful of chalk.
Wow. Know where this is going.
Dangeroso. Importante. Isabella.
Kind of like waves his hand left and right.
Okay. Un momento.
Starts rummaging through his notepad. And Hydra looks up his translation. Because I don't want it. There we go. Mumbo Italiano.
We're going to say number 5.
Prendi una cadela, una choco.
He motions to draw a circle around himself. And like points to the three at you. Draws a circle around himself.
Grande. Sacola. Sita. Firsto.
Sit in a circle.
See, firsto, the fire. You see where the fire was in the ground, eh? Isabella, disappearo. You see it. Circola, una candela.
And then he closes his eyes and puts the candle, makes like a match gesture, then raises the candle up to his ear, really, really close to his ear. The flame's basically inside it.
Listen.
Then moves it to the other ear.
Listen. You, listen.
So we make a chalk circle
See,
where she disappeared.
see,
Light a candle, sit in the middle, and
See?
light a candle,
la candela, see,
and listen to the fire.
see, una.
And then he puts the candle under his nostrils, inhales deeply.
See, smell. Et voilà.
Smelling a candle gonna help us.
But sarare testimone de diablo. You see, your hero.
See and hear a demon if we inhale flame.
Sì. Candela, the gioco.
Just like thrusts them at you, whoever's the closest.
I guess I'll catch the chalk and maybe the candle will go a little high and a Gaspard.
There's probably about 8 candles in total. They're more like little birthday candles.
I'll catch as many as I can.
Fairly small.
Hey, demoni. Dangeroso. Hey. Uno, no, uno.
He points to like Dagmar and
Uno, no. Dos, no. Dedo. Treso, uno, dos, tres. Sacala. No dedo.
I'm pretty tough. I could probably take one.
No. Dedo.
I suppose he's the expert, huh? Shit. Well, when's the best time to do this? Right now, or do we have to wait for something?
Hey, now come on. Luca, Lisane.
You heard the man. Time's wasting.
Sacramento, approach. Sospetto.
coming down the corridor is Alessandra, carrying a little bit of wine in a dainty glass.
I hope Shalia heals you soon, old man.
I say, making a quasi-religious sign over my chest, but not knowing what I'm doing.
Changes his demeanour almost instantly to be far less suspicious and just a friendly Giuseppe.
Grazie, Alessandro. Oh, magnifico.
Very well. I think we have some business to do.
Yeah, I reckon I might take a quick walk.
But by the way, when did you get that pickaxe?
I'll tell you on the way.
Very well.
Traded it in. You could say.
Sorry, I missed that. What was that, Sheepy?
Traded it in.
You could say that.
And I'll turn and I'm gonna start walking unless the others try to stop me to head outside.
Yeah. I'll go with.
Brother Alexandro, perhaps you have some of that wine?
Zio, I will get you some. It will be a few minutes. It takes a preparation.
It takes some preparation? What do you mean?
A sacramento. It is a wine and a prayer. I can forgo the prayer and get you the wine. If you like, but I will get you the wine. We will pray later. 1 hour.
It is a long time for a glass of wine. I will come back for it later. Okay. Dagmar, Ditlev, wait up.
And I'm actually already like at the door at this point.
Yeah.
As you're leaving, it will be to the tune of this demon hunter singing some obscenely stereotypical Tillian song. Hey, Humbo, Tada, Tilliano, hey, Tumbo. He's happy as Larry.
Mm-hmm.
At least while Alessandra is close. Apologies.
Catch up with the others.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm going straight for the burned house, and I'm whipping out the chalk and drawing a big old circle. Do I do an art roll for drawing a circle?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's a good circle, but
I'm gonna try for a perfect circle.
yeah, sure. Okay, we're challenging. You can take your time, but that doesn't make it any easier for a circle.
Yep.
I will also stop him before he starts.
Perfect circle.
Before he
Perfect
starts rolling.
semicircle before Detlef chimes in.
Don't interrupt me.
Apologies. However, I feel like I should interject slightly before you finish what you're doing.
Right. I say, and I'm concluding drawing the circle and working on the rest of the ritual because there's other things to be done.
Is it not worth considering the possibility that both of the missing people caused themselves to go missing?
I
But-
blink and look at the ground. Is there any sign that there was chalk on the ground before this?
There's a lot of black on the ground where the fire was. You can roll a challenging perception, though, to try and look through the charred ground to see if there is any remnants of a circle, though.
Okay. I'm a dwarf, so perception's amazing for me.
Yeah, let's go.
Super amazing.
The fire has scored some of the floorboards. They're left with a black soot, effectively, although the floorboards are intact. It's a little bit of a weird conundrum where there's evidence of something having been burned, and yet the floorboards are entirely whole.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It is not more likely than any other scenario that has been posited before. However, if someone was to want to summon or to cause someone to mess with demonic powers, let us say, an expert would be very knowledgeable of how to do that, and people would be likely to trust them.
I
Is
see where
my
you're
only
going with
thought.
this.
Especially an expert who is currently hoping for a miracle and may do anything to regain the use of their legs, which incidentally they have seem to have maybe a bit more mobility with now.
Oh, hell.
I throw the piece of chalk on the ground in irritation, and I begin pacing back and forth, clearly thinking.
I merely suggest the possibility, because to not think about it is to jump into possibly a predicament.
Son of a bitch. Gaspard, you're following, ain't you?
Speaking of predicaments, interrupting you, Dagmore. I've just rolled a perception for you.
Oh.
You lucky little dwarf. They're sobbing.
I kind of prick my ear up a little bit.
Y'all hear that?
As I cupping my hand at my ear.
No?
What?
I hear somebody crying.
Who does it sound like someone old, someone young? Where's it
It's a lady, unmistakably.
The old lady?
Coming from the table in the middle of the room. Unmistakably.
It's her. She's there. Detlef, can you look at the table? It's right there.
I say, pointing with a shaky, kind of nervous hand.
It's a table.
Use your, I don't know, wizard power sense, whatever. Just no spells. Can't you see things?
There's nothing there.
The wizard power sense that you dislike so much?
When you saw something earlier, you weren't using it, were you?
Well, then I would see something, wouldn't I?
Shit.
I cross my arms.
Detlef,
We gotta do something.
would you like to know what your perception roll reveals? Casually, that is, without direct observation.
Yep.
A concentration of magical wind within the room. That is, let's say, me rolling your passive perception.
I didn't mention the possibility to dissuade you from your current course. I merely wanted to posit the possibility so we don't go in ignorant of possible outcomes.
I raise my brows a bit and say,
Well, that's fine then, because quite frankly, I was still considering going in. I can appreciate the point you're making, though. If I want to believe this old feller, but if he's lying, it is entirely possible that the old lady done this to herself, and a whole mess of demons just descended upon her when she completed the same ritual we're about to complete.
It is also possible that she's holding a grudge against the person who didn't pick up.
at that, I don't know if he's joking or not, but I look at the ground, actually visibly kind of hurt at that. Actually, I don't look like I'm upset with him so much as myself.
You could take the guess that he chose his words very carefully.
Yeah, I'm frowning at this point, just looking down, not making eye contact with anyone.
Look, we have no, so only we can gain yes. So let me move away, step aside. And Gaspard just finishes the circle. Now, are we supposed to go in the circle or outside?
Inside, we sit down.
Inside. Well,
I plop my dwarven fanny down.
give me the candle.
Circle.
Here you go. I hand it to him in the
Were we supposed to be all three in the circle, or?
All three. He said one's dead, two's dead, three maybe.
After
You in, Deatliff? You got a spine, boy?
Yes, and hopefully you won't get to see it tonight.
Rightfully so, yes.
I like
Well.
your moxie then.
Who will light it?
I'll do it.
I'll gladly reach for it and light it quickly.
Oh, he gave you a handful of candles.
I'm gonna prop my scythe
Mm-hmm.
up against a wall to the side
Mm-hmm.
before I step in.
Okay. Bear with me a momento. Gentlemen.
Don't you need that thing? It's since you ain't gonna be casting spells, you need that for slashing at things, right?
I am not familiar with this type of procedure. I would prefer not to disrupt it with my own influence.
Perhaps that is a wise decision. We shall see.
However,
Fair enough.
if we get in trouble, I will be less able to help, so keep that in mind.
It will be fine, I'm sure. And otherwise,
I'm not.
I got a Dowie on your side. You're fine.
Gentlemen, do you begin?
Mm-hmm.
You have several candles between you, plenty for one apiece. And you all sit within this large, well-drawn circle. To begin with, you raise the candle to an ear. It does not matter which. And your attention is drawn to the flame. You can hear that subtle burning gradually fill your eardrum to the point for that ear it is all you can hear. If at any point you do change your mind, do let me know. I will assume for now you continue.
Yep.
The other ear. The sound intensifies. There are other sounds that begin to blend with that of the fire. Background howls. Wolves, maybe. Off in the distance, off in the hills. But they blend with the fire. And then the nose. One nostril, the other. A smell of sulphur fills your nostril and makes you feel incredibly lightheaded for a moment. You get that sensation that you're about to fall asleep. Your head begins to rock forwards, nodding gradually, and then the infamous head bob before you wake. Only things are a little bit different here. Things are very different. You are in a circle, and there are lines extending from this circle in all directions with arrows on the end. Some sort of ritualistic circle. One can only imagine how many lines there are. You can feel the warmth now of this fire all around you, as the building feels like it is ablaze. Out the window ablaze, the door ablaze, the walls, everything. And yet there is no smoke. And that is not what is horrifying within this scene. On the table, Dagmar, in front of you, upside down, bent backwards over the table, ribcage splayed open like a musical instrument. Organs over the floor, blood on the ceiling, the floor, the walls, the old crone. And that is still not what is terrifying. What is terrifying is that while upside down she raises a finger to her lips. Shh. Motions for you to be quiet. She points downwards to your ceiling and again hushes her lips. Gentlemen, you have your wits. I will ask for a cool test first, just to see if you can hold your nerve.
In real life or in the game?
I'm assuming challenging.
Oh yes. Gaspard, brave as always. Dagmord, hanging in there. Dietlev.
Going to reroll.
One reroll. You can right-click and a reroll. There was temptation for a moment. You imagine people could quite easily lose their cool within such a place.
Especially if they roll like shit.
Yes. She motions toward you, Dagmar, and fingers for you to come closer to her.
I cover my mouth with one hand, kind of resisting the urge to say something, but remembering that she put her finger to her lips. And I'm going to kind of inch closer to her. I look visibly kind of horrified at the fact that she's still moving when it looks like she shouldn't be. But I approach anyway, resisting the urge to flee.
She pulls you close to her and quietly whimpers something toward you.
I'll lean my ear in close.
Le bambino. Le bambino.
And points outside with her finger shaking out the window. All you can see out there is fire. There's the occasional scream that seems to just be part of the ambience here, not in any specific direction. And she whimpers as up above you you hear a thud. She recoils. No, no, no. Gentlemen, something upstairs just moved. You can hear something rustling.
I look to the others, and I look back to the lady. Is she still quasi-alive right now?
Define alive. She has no organs. Her ribcage is splayed open. Her head seems to be working, though. And her arms.
So there's nothing that any reasonable person would think they could do to help this woman.
No.
Okay. I'm just gonna look to the others for now, and I'm going to walk over to them after a second. I'm going to motion for them to come in close, remembering the kind of moment of silence that the lady had proposed.
She said, Pampino, something like that. Any y'all know what that means?
I think it's a type of wine.
I guess I can do it. Would I be able to do an intelligence test on that?
Sure.
Let me see.
Let's roll me a challenging.
Okay.
And does Diglif have any specific thoughts right now?
Wine sounds about right.
Not really with that cool roll. He's mostly trying to get past the... He's mostly trying to get past the worrying possibilities that's going through his head.
I'm sure there's a few. Let me add one more. Up above, there is a growling, a nauseous, uncomfortable, bestial growl. You hear a creaking on the floorboards above. Something is moving. There are stairs. The creaking is heading toward them. You see the stairs in the corner of the room.
Hide yourself. And Gaspard slowly draws his blade.
I draw my pickaxe and I nod toward Gaspard.
We take this thing down all together.
I do not know if this is a thing, but Diglef, do you?
You think a person did this?
I do not think we can take it down. That's what I mean. Diglef, do you see a way out of here?
I look at where my scythe was. Is it there?
Yes. Weirdly, the blade is on fire.
Oh.
Cool feature.
Lovely. Also, yeah, my thoughts, and I still haven't said anything, by the way. My thoughts co-align with Gaspard's, and I'm looking around for places to not be seen.
Okay.
Do we disturb the circle, or
This is...
Is the candle still burning, or do we still have the candle?
The candles are on the floor. They have been extinguished. The circle is now some
chaos thing.
8-sided star, one would assume. Allow me to illuminate the room a little more, if the fire wasn't doing so already. There are barrels. There is this turned over table that she currently is resting on, let's say. There are crates scattered around the edge of the room. It's a cook's house, so food, perhaps empty barrels. There are hiding places, safe to say.
Are the fires actually hot or not?
Similar to before, they are uncomfortable. They don't burn the way fire should burn. They hurt. Different sensation.
Is there a door?
Yes, it is fire.
You think we should go outside?
I don't know. Whatever that thing is coming back. I don't think we can save this woman. Deep-living, is there any way we can... I don't know how. Her parts are all gone. Is there any way we could, I don't know, put her out of her misery?
I think we need to worry about ourselves. I think we need to either get out of whatever we have put ourselves into. However we do that, we need to hide.
Gentlemen, one clawed red foot is visible on the first step. It's large. I'll ask you for a snap decision as to what you wish to do. I will say, out of the windows, outside is also on fire. It does not seem that there is anywhere that is not on fire, at least that you can see. But I will ask you each what you were doing in the next 3 seconds of game time.
Dive for cover somewhere.
Hop in a barrel. I'm a dwarf, so I can probably stand up in it.
Okay.
Is it possible... so I think this has been asked before, but
Yep.
the circle is still there?
Yes.
The candles are still lit?
The candles are, I will assume, for now dropped on the floor. They don't seem to be attached to the circle as such. But they are there on the floor.
So I'm gonna go for, essentially something to hide behind.
Yep.
Like maybe the table, if there's like a knocked over table, or if there's something to, as opposed to a barrel. I don't feel comfortable jumping into a barrel. That's kind of final.
Absolutely.
no offense, Dagmons.
I will ask you first, each, for an easy stealth. You have a few seconds. This is not a question of... Well, and nothing is currently in your field of vision, although something is coming.
As I go, I would like to try and like scuff the circle.
Yeah, like kick it with your foot.
It's essentially chalk, and it's not like dust or whatever. You can't really get it off like that, I don't think.
One thing I had not clarified is it is now black instead of white as well. Just for some extra details. Something easy to overlook.
What do we do? Oh, no, sorry, I see it. I was like, what do we do if we don't have stealth? I couldn't see the damn thing.
We find it. Gentlemen, you will find somewhere to hide. As another red claw meets the step, and another, and another, and you hear this slithering, growling creature slowly and purposefully make its way across the floor to the woman. You can hear her the whole while. No, no.
I'm clenching my teeth and my fists.
I
while I'm
bet
listening.
you are. You will have your own tests to pass in a moment, sir. Is anyone of the mindset that they may peep to
Yes,
see what they see?
Yes.
How dare you shield this from us? You see a large red tinted hound, the black scales on it, large, almost wings protruding from its neck, some strange reptilian feature. This creature is perhaps the size of a small bear, far larger than any dog you have encountered, and it is currently 2 legs on the table, nose and snout buried within the abdomen of this old crone, and it is ripping a piece of intestine out. There is blood and gore today for the audience, if you hadn't noticed. Somewhat late trigger warning. She is whimpering in response. Now, gentlemen, I will ask for, and this is a test because toward the peripheries of the room, the pain from this fire is more intense. I will ask you first for an easy endurance roll to see if you are able to simply stomach this pain.
Not so much.
Not so much. I will say, Dietlev, the temptation will be to move and adjust. And you will know that sensation is coming. You can keep the roll. I'm not suggesting reroll. It is up to you.
Makes sense. He is less comfortable and not as good with pain and discomfort.
I think that is very, very appropriate. A simple test to see if... Let me do a roll just to see if your fumble is noticed. It is not.
Hey.
Yay. Moments pass. The feasting continues. Another roll, gentlemen. This time, average.
Endurance, Kim?
Yes, please. And blind, deaf, and preoccupied snout is currently tearing apart, one claw resting on one end of the intestine and simply snapping it in two by a whip of the head with the other, completely oblivious to your presence. Now, all 3 of you hear a scream from the courtyard. It is that of a small girl. Unmistakable, unquestionable. You hear it loud and clear. Followed by a couple of growls. Imagine if the thing that was right next to you was angry. You would imagine it's something like that.
Just additionally, because he's obviously not doing too great with the heat, and he's in pain, and he's trying to be quiet. Dietlev is going to start, like, obviously very, very quietly, reciting incantations and
Okay.
similar things, just to kind of like try and focus his mind and not, think about the fact that he's slowly charbroiling.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do we have a ability to see out a window or anything from in the barrels to see where the girl is, or where the scream came from?
If you stood up, sure. Do you want to risk it?
Is this thing looking away from us while it's eating right now?
45 degrees.
I will risk it.
I'll ask for a challenging stealth.
All right.
You go for it. Well,
That's a no.
How
did
do
you-
you your flesh out?
you jump into the ceiling?
And I jump into its mouth. Oh my gosh.
Little girl, are you in there?
Oh my gosh. What did it roll?
Plus 2 SL.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I won't. No, I can't do that. Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Well, you tried. Standing up, you kick the barrel, and you have that moment where your life flashes before your eyes as the barrel just tips, balances on its corner for a moment, and then rolls with an awkward donk crash roll. And you have a snarling face that is without a token. Looking you dead in the eyes, please. I will ask for you to roll an initiative. Just the two of us before the others act.
So,
Okay.
as
Yep.
you do that, I'd like to query something.
Certainly.
I would imagine, for the most part, Dietlev doesn't know that much about demons, in a general sense.
Safe to say.
However, Cheapy
Yep.
recognizes that name,
Yep.
and I would like to query as to whether he might have had some teachings on certain unfriendly, specifically to magics.
Average law magic.
What difficulty was that initiative test at, by the way?
Challenging.
Okay.
Well, we're both outstanding.
Yeah, astounding in one way or another.
Okay. Dieseliv, you are familiar with a particular god and deity that you have been warned above all others, for pure reason that if Alessandro says he hates you, this thing really hates you.
Yeah, during the break, Hydra said, "I'm sorry that everything hates wizards." I realise now that that was foreboding. And
Yeah.
Yes. There will have been cautionary tales that these things, or this deity in particular, loves nothing more than, well, very bad things to wizards. Now, we come to Dagmore. Oh, young and sweet Dagmore. This is going to happen in a split second as it lunges for you and pounces straight towards your head. Mouth open with a horrific array of teeth. It is going to make a single attack. What are you doing to get out of the way of this? Or in response to this?
Is this thing of the size that I would likely be able to do like a parry with my weapon?
You could certainly try.
Yeah, I'll try a oh geez, +6. Yeah, I'll try a melee two-handed challenging, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
A good roll. Enough to mitigate some of the damage.
Okay.
We will figure out the numbers in a moment, but that is enough for its teeth to begin to lock around your head for a moment as you push the beast off, its teeth scraping away a portion of skin from your face, drawing blood. It reaches back and hisses at you.
Yeah, and
Before-
Dagmar just shouting out in pain.
Gaspard, Deedlev,
Yes.
Dagmord, what are you all doing? By the
Well-
way, there's also still screaming in the, presumably the courtyard. This little girl's probably on her 5th scream now.
Yeah. All of that. With now Dagmar being attacked by a thing, will very probably cause Gaspard to go into his frenzied state. Maybe even with a little help from whatever is causing this, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Seems fairly logical, I think. And he will just charge the thing.
Okay.
Rapier, well, basically the same as he did with the witch.
Yeah.
Going right.
Go,
Something like kicking a table aside and
go ahead and
Impale this thing.
make me your roll. We will come to the defensive in a moment. Dagmar, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess initially I'd like to look at Gaspard and say, can y'all handle this, or should I get the girl? Or should Deedlev get the girl? What should we do?
that is with a +10 for charging, by the way.
That is a very nice roll. Okay, Gaspard, we've done yours. I will say, make your decision on what you're doing. There won't be too much time to converse. You
Basically, I'm
have...
just like, we staying or going?
Well, Gaspard charge again, so you can probably.
I'm frenzied.
Yeah, Gaspard is going to attack it, so there's your
Well,
answer.
I'm hurt. He and a wizard are both in here. This thing, that's a little girl out there. So I'm going to try to run outside and help the girl.
Okay, so as you see Gaspard coming to assist, you're going to try and make your way, presumably to the door, to make your way through it. And Deedlev, what are you doing?
Okay, so I have a thing I want to do.
Okay, let's make it work.
Tell me how viable it is.
Okay,
I would like, and essentially I haven't been seen yet, correct?
no.
So I would like to wait till the last second as Gaspard charges,
Yep.
and then in that moment, I'm imagining that the beast is ready to receive or respond or whatever. I'd like to jump up noisily, start channeling, not for anything in particular, but just start channeling the winds and chanting.
Okay. Okay. You can certainly start doing that. Are you channeling towards something in particular, or just...
No. The intention is to engage the winds of magic to
Okay.
distract the beast from Gaspard to me.
I like it. Make your roll, please.
Channeling?
Yes, please. Where you are, it's average. There is a lot of magic here.
Yeah, there is. I have a chant as well if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Oh, that's a marginal success. Okay, so
Yat tarishtam yat tedyutam, asti peshtam ta, atmani, datatad bryada.
there you go.
For the purpose of this combat, the flames flicker and dance around you, reacting with the words you are saying as you channel this almost raw energy around you. Certain winds of that fire forming it almost spew out into a... How would you visualize what's happening?
It's probably... I would imagine I'm channeling the winds around me to draw the attention, so it's probably just kind of like... It's like sucking in... And this probably hurts a little bit, actually, so it's like sucking in the fire as well as...
Yeah.
Like, the winds the winds I'm used to is the... are they black winds?
Yeah, purple. Yourself.
Purple, yeah, purple winds. So it's probably like this kind of like vague purple smoke, not super strong, but just kind of like whirlwinding around me and pulling in some of the flames.
Okay.
As it goes.
Okay. It seems to have effect. As Gaspard, you are lunging in, there's almost like a gust of wind that picks up inside. The creature seems momentarily distracted as it lunges for Dagmord, and you are able to cleanly make a go of its right shoulder. Let me just roll its defense. You will have effectively another plus 20 on your roll of plus 6, making it plus a hell of a lot. There you go. And a fumble. Okay, so it trying to turn to see what's happening with this wind catches itself on a piece of furniture, its tail thrashing one of the barrels to one side. And you, well, do you want to describe to me where you're sticking your rapier?
I'm charging, and as I see that it is turning its head and it is distracted, I will probably put it in like its armpit, if you can say it like that.
Yeah, go for the vitals.
The front paw and the chest.
Okay.
Screaming, well, not quite blood for the blood god, but
something to a...
Don't scream that right now, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Frenzy might be actually fueling this thing, but isn't that a novel idea? No, okay, love it. And as that is happening and you lunge your blade in, dealing a considerable wound to this as it snarls and hisses back, still evidently very much alive, as much as a demon can be, and now looking at you with equal ferocity. Dagmord.
I do have extra attack, by the way.
Oh, God, Frenzy's OP, I forgot that. Yeah. Okay, make another one.
Well, it's up to you if I can make
I will say if you pass me a willpower test, I'll give you another attack. Because I feel like a willpower test to go into Frenzy is the norm, but...
Yeah, just challenging.
Okay, yeah, make me your extra roll as you follow up.
I don't know if it does the... Well, whatever, don't worry about it.
Just do the things.
Yeah, and it should still be that, so...
Okay, I'll go with the previous defensive roll for both. Another second blow, this time into the creature's head. Your blade lashes through a portion of this wing-like fin that projects out of the left side of its neck, tearing it open like a wing of a bat being shredded apart. It is really unhappy with you, and we'll come to that in a moment. Meanwhile, Dagmor.
Yes, I'm doing whatever I can to get out that door.
Okay, what are you doing to get out the door?
Is there anything between me and the door now?
Bit of fire and a door. The door is on fire.
Okay. Can I take my my new dwarven pickaxe and just stick it over the handle or whatever and pull it open with that?
You can try and pry it open. Sure. Make me an easy dexterity roll to just simply see if you can get it around the lock and then use it as a crowbar.
You got it.
It's almost an ideal tool for it, so we're going to make it fairly easy. There was a threshold, but I'll say +6 definitely passes that. So instead of just pulling it ajar slightly, you rip the lock off, and effectively the door is now free to swing.
Yeah, I'm getting a girl. I groan out to the others, still wiping blood from my face and heading out.
We will come to you in a moment, Dagmar, as we return. We now have a question to make of this dog. That is... it has to make a willpower test. Despite the fact that someone has just stabbed it twice, there is something in this room that it hates even more. Gaspard, you will have an opportunity to attack. Dietlev, you recognise you've got its attention, perhaps slightly more than what you wanted. I'll allow the two of you to act as the flesh hound is lunging towards you, Dietlev. Attempting to leap over the table by the looks of it.
Who's sacked? Sorry.
Both.
Both of you.
Okay.
The scythe is on fire on the other side of the room. I'm not sure I can do anything about the fire. Do I think I can do anything about the fire?
Question mark? Maybe.
I would need preparation and time and okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, if it's coming straight at me, I'm going to loop to the side, try and run, and try and run past Gaspard.
Okay, so sort of back around sort of the side of the building, so on the inside, obviously, to use Gaspard as cover.
I can magically find myself outside the building, that would be great.
I mean, that would be nice. The door is open now, so I mean that's an option.
Considering the screams and the barking and growling from outside, maybe it wouldn't be great. I'm not sure. We'll have to...
Yeah. Well, there is a man with a sword in here that at least seems to be doing some of Sigmar's work. So we'll come to your role in a second, because I'll need to see what Gaspard achieves first, which will dictate your difficulty. Gaspard, this creature is disengaging from you. It has something it would rather be chewing on right now. What are you doing?
Well, the situation dictates that I at least do something offensive. So I will probably grab something heavy that's on the floor and try to throw it at him, and also stab it.
Okay. I'll allow but there are plenty of crates here, so you can probably go for one that's, say, like a yard wide.
Kick it towards him on fire, and then stab it in the butt.
Okay, so maybe kick the crate maybe towards its legs even, to try and knock one out before stabbing it. Yep. If that seems like a good visual. Okay. Yep. I'll ask you an athletics roll, please, first. We'll make that average first to kick a box towards it. And this is just to, let's say, aim sufficiently. Okay, a competent kick. It will be somewhat hindered and have a harder time leaping onto poor old Dietlev. Please, let's have your follow-up attack as it lunges away from you.
Yep.
Okay, a competent hit. It will roll two things. The first will be its... in actual fact, it's going to oppose you with its, let's say, natural athletics. So this is both a test to jump over at Dietlev and a test to, well, not get hit. Okay. It had... okay. Dietlev, you do have a couple of things working in your favour right now. It has been ever so slightly lacerated by a rapier and had a box kicked from under its legs, I'll give you plus 20 to your... Oof. Dodge or athletics, whichever you feels more appropriate.
Dodge. Roll.
Okay.
Oh, would it be... Could I go with athletics? Because I have the athletics when fleeing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'll give you plus 30 in that case, in total. So an average test with an extra modifier of 10. Or just put the modifier as 30, does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all just a bit of maths.
Well...
Sheepy.
Fine.
Oh, sheepy, you rolling your 88s.
I don't want
While
to
in hell.
No, you don't. That's absolutely the worst case
Roll
scenario
on the
ever.
bad things happen table. Hilarious.
Question.
Yes.
Usually our fortune
It will reset every session.
Okay, so do I still then have...
You're only at -1 this session because I think you've used only one.
Yes.
So you've still got the rest of them left.
It's one more than fate?
For yourself, yes.
So I would have 3. Okay. So I will re-roll. Because I just the 8. I don't like my double eights. Well, you know what? You know what? Sure. Okay. Let's do this.
Does that count as a double on 100?
Yeah.
It's a good roll.
At least it's not a 99. That honestly, that probably would have been worse.
Okay, so what I can basically do here is safe to say, currently, Deedlev, it is going to catch you. I'm just going to have to roll a hit to effectively calculate damage.
Yeah, no.
So we're just going to go ahead and see how much it hurts. It is going to have a penalty to it. It is not going to get a charging bonus, and it has been slightly distracted, so it has no advantage. -10 modifier. Let's go. Okay, it is enough to connect a hit. It will be 12 wounds, which will factor out in a little bit after toughness. It's going to go down to, let's say, a meager 7 wounds for now. I'll do the maths properly in a moment as we're rocking out of system. But it's safe to say that it catches your arm, and even though you manage to get away from it, it manages to get some teeth in and tear a good portion of skin and a little bit of flesh from your arm.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to come to Dagmore in a moment, if you don't mind, Dagmore. And there will be a reason why it's kind of easier to do both of your rounds together, so to speak. So we're going to return to Gaspard. Deedlev has just run around the room and been caught. It does seem that it was a narrow escape, though, and certainly could have been far, far worse. Gaspard.
Gaspard will draw his dagger with his other hand, and he will try, because now this thing has its back to him, he will try to throw himself on it and just basically just go stab to wherever. Well, maybe try to... There's this big collar thing around his neck, right? Well, no collar, wing-like thing.
There is wing-like things. There is a piece of canonical information I do feel is somewhat pertinent right now. That is that the back of this creature is decorated with spines. I am not saying it's impossible to jump onto it and wrestle. Perhaps even you could use them for extra leverage. However, I am going to pose to you that this will be a dangerous task.
I still think that's still something you want to do, so...
I'm not saying don't do it, I'm just saying it's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let us agree first of all on the what-ifs. I will say a negative fumble will be damage inflicted on yourself.
Yeah.
And I would go so far as saying that might not be... I will maybe say more than a -2 SL. And you also may take some scratches, if you are happy.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sir, what roll are we going with?
I think... should it be athletics to jump on it?
Yes.
And then basically a melee basic for the stabbing?
Yes. Let us start with the first. Plus 20 for attacking it from behind.
Yep. I have added advantage. Is that
Absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely fine. I've been tweaking it for the others, so...
Wow. Okay.
A very good roll as you perch yourself perfectly, one arm between two of the large spines.
And then just go postal.
Make an easy melee basic roll to just repeatedly stab it. Okay. Many stabs follow. Many small knife wounds into its abdomen, its side, the side of its head, its neck. It hisses and reels, and we will come back to you in a moment as something is about to happen. But we need to just touch base with Agmord, who is currently seeing something slightly different. Dagmord.
Yes.
Welcome to hell. Across the courtyard are two dogs, chasing a small girl. They're quite some way away from you. She is running towards a faraway building. They seem to be approaching her slower than necessary. A cat about to pounce on a mouse, one might say. Please, what would you like to do?
And when you say dogs, they look like actual dogs, or they look like the flesh hound did?
They look like that big red demon dog thing that was in there. What's a flesh hound?
Well, yeah. Is that a character? Is there anything around, anything that would make sound, or, I mean, other than yelling? Distractions?
There's lots of fire, which is exceptionally loud. Side note, a minor distraction, but over the side of one of the buildings you see a figure twice the height of the building in amongst the fire and the smoke, just gradually move into the shadows. Something colossally large, lumbering through the hills. As you were, what would you like to do?
I guess I will approach the girl. Is there any? I'm trying to think. Are these dogs? Are they between me and her?
Oh yes. Not gonna make life easy.
Does it look there's anywhere that she could run and hide, like past?
Yeah, she's running directly away from you, and they're between.
Yeah.
And you will have to run to get to either of them with an athletics test if you want to get there. So.
I think there's no way I could take on two of them. I think I'm gonna try to get their attention. I'm just gonna yell at them. Try to get them to chase me and flee.
Okay. You can make your roll. Make it intimidate or a charm.
Okay.
We'll say average to get their attention.
Okay, intimidate then. It's very intimidating to two of these things.
Yep.
Average, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You grab some attention, shouting, flailing your arms while moving toward them, and one of the hounds turns around to acknowledges you, but gives you a look of a dismissive teenager and a huff before looking back toward the girl. One of them, at which point lunges forward towards her and makes contact with her leg with its teeth. It begins to drag her toward one of the buildings as, safe to say, her screaming intensifies. I will not roleplay it. A reaction, please.
I would like to... I will sprint towards her with the intention of getting to them.
Okay. Athletics, please. Average.
Okay.
Okay. You sprint towards her. You run as fast as your stubby little legs will carry you. And when you are 2 to 3 yards away, this poor girl's blood spewing on the ground as she is being dragged toward the building, she screams one final time and lays a hand onto the forehead of this hound, at which point it releases her, hisses and growls, almost like a wounded animal, if such a demon can be. And something unusual happens. If that weren't unusual enough, Dietlev and Gaspard, you hear this too. Imagine a mountain. Imagine a bell the size of a mountain being struck by, let's say, a comet of Sigmar, colossal in magnitude. You hear this ring pierce through the ground, your eardrums. There is an intensity that makes it difficult to even stay standing. I'm going to ask you all for a difficult endurance roll, please.
Can't wait for the 99. Oof. Close.
Okay. Gaspard, you have 1 second that you're able to keep your eyes open for before something happens. What would you like to do with your final second while stabbing this thing?
Stabby, stabby. He's in frenzy.
One more stab. Yep. Squeeze it in.
Just really drive that in.
Dietlev, perhaps feeling it more intensely, being more in tune with such situations and phenomena than most, you feel this almost vibrating earthquake go up through your feet, your legs, your body, your chest, almost sucking the wind out of you, and almost within an instant you are unconscious on the floor.
I kind of feel like his nose is starting to bleed as well.
A nice touch, absolutely. Dagmore, you have 2 seconds.
I think I basically just got to her, didn't I?
You just got to her. You have 2 seconds.
I'd like to reach down, try to scoop her up if I can in my arms, and move her away from the dogs.
You reach down. She takes your hand. You take hers. You go to pull her up. And that's the last thing you remember. Gentlemen. Darkness is all you are currently experiencing. No growls. Just silence. As Dietlev and Gaspard, you wake inside the building where you were. The circle on the ground, still that black, tainted star. Dagmar, outside, you too rise. You are back where you were. Hopefully.
Any sign of the girl?
No.
Can I suggest, considering my astounding failure, that Dietlev does not regain consciousness at the same time as the other two.
Yeah, absolutely. Gaspard? You've got a Dietlev bleeding from the nose profusely on the ground.
Dietlev. 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 Where's Dagmar? He's just like dazed. I think I do get blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay. Fatigued. Which one's fatigued? That's the wrong one. That's the one. He will crawl towards where Dietlev is lying and slap his cheeks. Dietlev! Wake up! You... What was that? Dietlev? Perhaps... Where is your staff? Crawling towards his staff, thinking that maybe it's some kind of totem or something that will help him, and put it in his hand. Wake up! Dagmar!
For waking up, I feel, again, considering the horrific failure, some type of roll should be done at some point, so I'll just leave that up to you, Hydra.
I will say when you rouse will be with you, but how you rouse will put down to a roll. I will ask you for... I feel like we could do any one of a couple of rolls. Do you feel, Dietlev, that you are more mentally discombobulated? Do you feel you are panicked in any way, or is this simply a physical inability to rouse yourself?
I think, considering how that went down, it would be essentially like a mental concussion almost.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that. So,
mental, spiritual concussion.
A challenging intelligence roll, please. So that'll be on your main tab on attributes. You click the number in red.
Can I argue, weirdly, that I feel it should be probably a hard?
Certainly make it more difficult if you like, yeah. I mean, it's his first experience, yeah.
Yeah, just going off the -6.
Yeah, no, we can go with that. That's... So I would maybe suggest that there is a lot of discombobulation where you are, what's happening, the events surrounding, maybe even you might feel that you're missing some pieces of what happened. Anything else you would throw into that?
I think that covers it. I was going to say maybe he felt like he's missing a bit, but...
Yes. We are in agreement. Dagmar, you do hear Gaspard shout for you from within the building.
I stay where I am for now.
Okay.
I'm thinking over what just happened, and I ain't happy.
Fair enough. Understandable. Gaspard, you have a confused Dietlev with you.
Dietlev, are you okay?
I
look at his arm. Is he hurt at all?
Yes.
Yeah, I have some. Well, actually, I don't think I will have them on me. Let me grab your sleeve. Make some kind of bandage. We'll get you inside. Come. Come up. Get up.
No, it's fine. A man shouldn't touch another man's wizard sleeve.
What? You silly nincompoop. Come on! And I pull him up.
Where are we?
We are on our way to get you to a bed. Come on.
Are we alive?
Yeah, bien sûr.
I've always wondered.
Deal with the philosophical questions. Come on. Dagmar! Where is that cursed dwarf?
Yeah, and if he goes outside, he can see me down the street. I'm leaned forward against a house where I had just tried grabbing to save Rosa. I'm standing, leaning forward against it, my arm raised, my forehead pressed against my forearm, resting it against the wall, my face kind of concealed, and I'm just dead quiet.
Dagmar, you idiot! Come help me!
I waved dismissively at him.
Then we'll continue dragging Dietlef towards the main building, the temple.
Gaspard?
Wait,
I've been wondering something.
what is it?
And he like leads him a little bit closer, and he's like, "If
You are out of it. Come on.
okay."
Hello? Anyone?
As you approach the steps, Gaspard, something catches your attention. Shalia, the beloved painting on the front of this building, is bleeding. The blood trickling down from her leg onto the table and offerings beneath. Furthermore, there is a crack in the building, one 6 inches wide, that was not there before.
This place is accursed. Dietlef, come on, get your senses. I need you a little grace else.
My senses are perfectly fine.
And one other thing. That is not what is disturbing. Just as is in hell, there is something worse. There is a light coming from the southeast wing. Not a light. A fire. And that is where we will leave today's session.
Turn them out!
Gentlemen, you are alive. You managed to avoid nastiness. And you got to the end of... I mean, no one's dead, so that's good.
Yeah, but I'm imagining we need some corruption.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there. You're getting all the corruption.
Yeah,
all the corruption.
I'm at 6 out of 7.
Okay, good. Okay, let's do the corruption first while we reflect, maybe, or lick our wounds, or the piece of our arm that's missing. Well done, though.
Incidentally, Hydra, I would say my answer has changed to the solitary.
Sure.
Opposed to the Howdy angle.
Okay. I think that is very fitting. Now, gentlemen, we have our soothing music. I will load up the corruption.
I feel bad for Giuseppe. His life sucked.
He killed them. You suck.
Still, I would not want to do that every day. Damn.
Even if he killed them, why are they there?
Well, not all of them. The man can only do so much with one lasagna.
They got better.
Right, okay. For the ritual, please. Endurance.
Endurance. Ritual. Why do I have that? Oh
Challenging.
shit! I'm. Yeah.
Is
I'm
that
rolling
challenging?
with it.
Challenging, yes.
Yeah.
Gaspard, congratulations. I think that will be a willpower test from you, Gaspard, to see if you succumb to your new gift.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's not the worst.
The bane of my existence.
So I feel bad for kind of like merging these two, but it's kind of like, okay, well you've got that one for doing a ritual, and then there's going to hell, so to speak. So I will allow Dietlev if you want to do cool, because you seem to be more mentally frazzled right now. I'll allow. I'll allow you the choice in accordance with roleplay, but if you pick the higher number, I'll dick slap you. But if you can justify why it's that was an open one to everyone, by the way. The dick slap, it's an open offer. So whichever.
By the way,
yeah.
I have a -10 for fatigue from the frenzy. Should that be? Because it's afterwards.
I'll say corruption takes a while to set in.
Yep.
I will be kind, seeing as you have a moderate and a major roll to do all in one session, and say, yeah, sure, let's remove the fatigue.
I would say that even though he took essentially a mental enema during that whole situation, you can't overlook the fact that he got ripped by a freaking flesh hound and he's a wizardly boy. So I'm going to go with endurance for the second one.
Completely agree.
Just because it makes sense.
And what was what's the second roll for again?
You can choose. You can tell me which one makes more sense for your character.
Corruption.
I would say, like, no. I was gonna say cool makes sense for Gaspard, for Dagmar.
I think it's very reasonable, given he's got a little bit more mental baggage from this.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
there was less of a physical aspect and more of like a torturous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
I went with the endurance because of the full physical contact.
You're fighting a demon. Yeah.
There we go.
We both fought the demon.
You were both fighting the demon. Indeed.
I got bitten by the demon.
There's bittens have happened. I'll calculate the wounds in a bit, because it was basically the case of if it hits you twice, you're going down. Maybe not for the dwarf, but Dietlev was still up. Yeah, Dietlev, you're just about still up. Well, as I say, congratulations for surviving the easiest encounter of the campaign. So, as I said when you rolled a wizard, Sheepy, some things were already made before you rolled a wizard, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'm not sorry at all.
It came in use in a way.
Perfect, my arch enemy.
Yeah. I was very proud of the whole. I'm just going to do weird wizardy shit for a second, and he'll get distracted because.
Yeah.
Well, we know what he is.
Yeah, it was a nice narrative touch. I like how you guys handled the combat. That was nice and creative. It was good.
Corn boy. Well, would have needed to if Mr. Bloody Pop Goes the Weasel didn't jump up like a fucking meerkat.
Yes, it was entirely possible that you could have hidden for the entire time, and
that was the plan.
That would have been a lot safer, and that's why I said the genre is survival horror.
Yeah.
You did.
Little girl necessarily.
Yeah.
Fine.
What the hell?
She's fine. She can tell demons to fuck off, unlike you. So, yeah, well done. And I was very happy, Sheepy, when you said that young Sheepy loves corn, because I thought, goody gumdrops.
Yeah.
So,
young Sheepy loves corn. Old Sheepy loves snitch.
you have met one demon. I'm not saying how many there are. And no, you've met 3 technically, because there were 3 doggies in total.
That's awesome. I love birds.
Yeah, I met 3. I can
I love a
introduce the other guy to
bath. I love bubble bath. Yeah. Well done. You're alive. Any final conclusions from the chat? Feel free to quickly throw in a couple of comments. We'll read them out. And I thank you all for watching. If anyone throws in a particularly amazing comment at the end, with the exception of Mr. Matt, because he always has good comments, there may be a thing in the next session that is dedicated to you. I won't say what is. I'll leave it cryptic, so only you could find out by watching next week. But I will pay a cryptic homage to someone that does a cool comment, and I'll use a random number generator to pick who. As I say, except Mr. Matt, because he's already in this damn thing. And let's have a concluding remark, or just a
round table.
Yeah, a little round table. So, any volunteers to get the ball rolling?
Well, really like all the scenes, and it is crazy to see how our minds are functioning in the same way, because, well, all I can say is just watch Friday's session. You'll see.
I don't want to go to hell.
I mean,
Sure.
I feel like we were just there, but
You were in hell.
Sure.
Well, were you? Who knows?
has anyone else seen The Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna post up in the general chat for us, but that was what I saw when Hydra was describing
The woman.
the woman.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's
just the thing hanging from the ceiling as one of the
yeah.
or like
I think it's
spider-
Cryptic head spider thingy.
yeah.
Flesh.
The operating room, I think.
Basically a chaos spawn when you think about it. Thank you, Sheepy, for giving your GM ideas. Please, please continue.
I am all about the. I'm all in.
Contributing to my own demise with cool ideas. That is a player's journey. That is the hero's journey.
One last thing. I did gain another corruption, so we'll go with the lolling tongue, because, well,
Okay.
that's a thing.
Are you sure you're not madly jealous of the priestess's larger penis?
No, I've got that lolling tongue now. That's far
Okay.
more useful.
Lolling tongue. Yeah. I like a lolling tongue. It's
Next episode is gonna be have you seen the video, the meme of the dog who, like, his tongue is always like hanging out the side of his mouth and he's what sorry, you carry on, I'll find it.
And yeah, Mr. Matt, any?
Yeah, had a great time as always. The music, the sounds, the maps, the character little portraits and things, the descriptions of the woman on the table, the hell dimension, all the events, everything's just so intense and exciting. Just, yeah, magnifico.
I tried to make sure that woman had a good build up. I didn't want to be too blasé about hell and all that, you know. Not to say it was hell, but visually that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is?
Warhammer hell, kind of. Yeah. And just the description on the woman was very Event Horizon. Nice.
I found the video.
Okay.
Okay. And Sheepy, I forget if you did closing remarks, or if I glossed over you, or if your remarks were blended in.
I was shouting about the thing and the ceilings and stuff. Yeah,
That's fair enough.
It's always worrying as a player, and you would, like, because I've GM'd so much for so long, it's been a long time since I've been a player. You get into situations that you put your players in all the time, and you're like, I forgot what it's like to not really know anything and to wonder what the right thing to do is.
Mm.
And then this is the thing is, I eventually go, fuck it, who cares what the right thing is, and just do what my character would do. So
That's the spirit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where like Deetlev 100% would have jumped up and helped and basically not fought. Like he didn't fight at all. He just distracted for a second. But Sheepy was like, this crazy dwarf and Frenchman. Just hide and hopefully something will happen and he'll go away.
I think it's very forgivable for even the bravest of characters in that situation to behave out of context for themselves, and then maybe to reflect on it afterwards. Like if you want a good excuse for not fighting something, I mean, fair enough, a demon is pretty scary, but a demon while on its home turf, I think the decision to hide is not unreasonable. Furthermore, after seeing what one of them can do with a bite,
Feeling in my case.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
Yeah.
Not just your case, instead.
Not just his case. Maybe that too will instill a little bit of fear for what is to come. And on that Twilight Zone finish, with the sound of trumpets in the background, we'll see you all on Friday for our Lustria campaign, and next Tuesday when I continue to drive my players mad and kill their characters. All to a backdrop of a hopefully interesting story. Take care, ladies and gents. Peace.
Bye.